All right, ma'am, you got some news?
Yeah, definitely
over
do.
there?
Yeah, definitely do. You ready for it right now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. First up, a nasty fight breaks out on the plane as a lawyer tries to skip the line and deboard first. I want to know what you think about.
I got thoughts.
All right, let's watch the video.
Right now, why don't you shut your mouth?
Wait for the people in front of me to get up. That's how we do it.
Oh my God, you're all whining for no reason.
Where you going?
Kid crying is awesome.
Get up when you want to. Okay, you're
All right, pause it for a second, Dawson. She did the thing that's now in vogue, which is she walked from the back of the plane to the front of the plane to deboard. And look, when you do that, by the way, I've been sitting on the aisle up front when people have done this. You stare at a guy's ass crack for 22 minutes. I mean, by the way, you can say what you want about, male intimacy, but the reality is I'm 6'2", I'm sitting on the seat, this guy's 6'2", and he's standing there. His ass crack is 9 inches from my face. Right. It's pretty rare. I know for you it's a fucking Tuesday and a figure 4 with some dude.
The guy in the
I rarely have my head in that proximity of a strange guy's asshole. Now,
I'm well aware of it myself, bud.
It'd be a weird, if you just thought of a thing where it's like someone goes, look, you sit on this folding chair, yeah. I'm going to have a guy stand on an apple crate, and he's just put his ass about 9 inches from your face. You'd go, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, we'll do it for 20 minutes. Will you just sit there? The fucking aisle is 16 inches wide. Man. This guy's fat. You just sit there. So listen. Okay, million things. So she's doing it. She's doing this thing. There are many... Not everything is codified into law. Yeah. There's just certain decent humanity, sort of like when you're driving. It's kind of a zipper, go ahead, I'll merge, and you go, then you go. Like sometimes you do that, go ahead, and 3 people go, and you go, okay, that's not how we do this. One at a time. We're going to zip her in. We're going to merge. She's just doing this, and the people are calling her out on it, rightfully so. We'll play a little more. And she's firing back.
You're just a Karen, and that's just the way it is.
Just deal with it, people. My God.
I dated this lady.
Shut up. It's not affecting any of you.
It does affect you. You have to wait longer to get off the plane.
You're the Karens about it because you're the ones who are making noise. Nobody's bothering you. It's not even in your position.
I just love there's a kid crying.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Perfect.
Fuck up. Yep. Because you've never said one. I can tell you have. Oh, yes, I can. Given your accent, I can tell you've said the F-bomb.
You can be a jerk. No, you're not going to insult someone because of an accent. We're not doing that.
Don't put your finger at me.
This is a low IQ human being.
Yeah, it is.
You ain't going to change this.
Love when you say anything
She's enjoying this.
Yeah. No, I dated a mean Iranian lawyer just like her.
Really?
Who's vicious and likes to
all
argue.
the time,
they
like
love
that.
A constant argument. That's just how she talks.
So everything is a
happy.
thing.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
She just wants to win, no matter what. Look, and not to be racial, okay, but I have students that are Iranian, very stubborn guys.
Oh, listen, there's a reason why that fucking place is a shithole ashtray. It's a culture. They have a shit culture. Not all of them, but
not all of them.
Enough to ruin.
Enough for us to be angry and bomb
enough to ruin enough to ruin a region.
But she's enjoying this. You see, I've always said, if you take the woman in the pink and the 2 guys, I always say, it's the sound of one hand clapping. Don't give them the other hand. You have no sound.
I pulled that move and just dead silence, and I don't understand English.
I'm sad to say that there needs to be an intervention at this point. Like I fly first class sometimes. I never got the you get on the plane first part of first class. Right. I never. What's the biggest perk is I sit in the front of the plane and you bang my knee with your Samsonite times 250 people that get on the plane and then we leave. By the way, I don't get anything. I'm sitting there now. First class is not first class. You order a scotch, it'll be like, sir, but wait till we hit our cruising altitude. It's not like you get a cheese platter or anything. You just sit there and get eyeballed by everyone who gets on the plane. Why is that a good thing? So here's what I'm saying. I've said to people a million times, what if we're just taking a bus to Phoenix?
Right.
And they go, all right. Well, Adam, the average ticket on this bus was $33. Yeah. You paid $87. Yeah. So you get to go on the bus first and wait for everyone to load up. I'd go, how about this? How about I'll go sit at that bar, and then when everyone's loaded up, you can come get me, and I'll get on the bus, and then we can leave. How about that?
First
I'm going to
class.
spend an extra 40 minutes on the bus?
All right, so I have a thing. I always ask my wife, because she makes all my flights, how big is the plane?
Right.
Because if it's, I fly in first class a bunch, and if it's the one where you turn,
If
to
you
the
turn
right,
left, you're in first class. If you turn right,
but
you're not in real first class.
Yes, but you have you have the big wide seat, even if you turn right. But here's the problem I have. I feel like if I get on that plane before anyone else, I feel like everyone's judging me for being in first class, and I don't like that feeling.
Well, I just maintain eye contact to
I don't.
dominate.
Well,
So I
here's
get on
where I was
last.
going. Here's
I'm
where I
always
was going.
getting on
I
last.
get on
Yeah, I'm
last.
just
I
kidding.
get
I'm
on
just kidding.
last. But
Yeah.
now in this new world non-order we're living in, I've gotten on last and had to have my bag gate checked. And I'm like, hey, bitch, I got a first class ticket on this flight. It's like, well, they filled your overhead space. The assholes going to the back of the plane threw all their shit up in the front of the plane.
Yeah.
So now we got a problem. The problem is you're unloading your bag up front and then go sitting in you're in aisle 27. You threw your bag in aisle 3. That's where my seat is.
Right.
But you got on before me and nobody polices this shit anymore. Now we land and you get up at aisle 27. You walk up to aisle 3 and you put your fat ass in my face because that's where your bag is. Yeah. The one is perpetrating the other. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need to fucking police this shit. You have the space above your seat. You don't have the space in the front of the plane. That's
right.
the space of the people who bought a ticket in the front of the plane.
Yeah.
That's the new rule. And also, you don't get to use the head in the first class either. You didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
Tough shit. Literally. Go to the back. Now
No,
everyone's just
agree.
like winging the curtain open and flying in. I'm going to go shit up first class, and then I'll just go back and sit in coach.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You didn't pay for it.
And it's I think it's a lot of money. I don't do the tickets myself, but I think it's a lot of money.
First class, it kind of depends. But what people don't really get about the first class is like other forms of life are sort of like you go out to eat, you know. Well, you go to a decent restaurant. The burger's $26. All right. Well, how much is the steak? Well, the flank steak's $49. Okay. What's the filet mignon? That's $51. You know, it's just kind of incrementally moving up the list. First class. You can fly first class. You can fly coach to New York for $289, and you go, what's the first class? That's $3,300. Like it's
I don't think I'm paying that.
It's
for
not
first class.
twice. It's it'll vary, and it can, and sometimes it's a little bit more, but that's when you turn right, and it's a smaller plane.
Yeah.
But if you want to fly to New York and you want to turn left, you're not talking about 2 or 3 times what coach is. You're talking about 9 times what coach is.
I might have to have a talk with my wife.
It gets crazy. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, they can go,
I don't know what things
Oh,
cost.
no, you just crashed his budget today.
If she's a good woman, then she'll say, I use your mileage to upgrade you or some
Yeah,
shit.
that's what she tells me all the time. It's like we have so many miles because of your
She's trying to get you to shut up.
You ever sleep? You ever get the sleeper thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never have. That's like,
Oh, dude, you got to get Adam to get you a sleeper seat.
Yeah.
go,
Although I
bro.
did find out. I was talking to a young guy once, and he, I don't know how it came up, but he was like, "You ever beat off on an airplane?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." I guess the guy was like 6'4". You know, I go, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Stand up in that little bathroom with your head pressed against it, whatever. He goes, no, I did it laying down.
Really?
I go, laying down? What do you think? I should have got the sleeper. I got the cocoon with the. I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So look forward to that.
I've not tried that.
No, but the guy flew before you did. You're now in his bad water basin.
Eskimo brothers.
Talk about bad water. All right, there's 34 seconds of this left. All right, we'll play this.
Yeah, it is.
You ain't gonna change this.
I love when they say ain't and they talk about low IQ.
I use AIDS and I'm in a doctoral program.
It's a big deal. I don't take
deal.
ink.
He's a lawyer.
Racist. Do you even know what the word racist means? Wait, you're white. Because that's racist. Maybe xenophobic if you're talking about accents. Maybe get the vocabulary right. Right when we get off this plane, I'll meet you out there with my bar card.
He's got a bar card.
Goes viral, you'll lose that too.
Sure.
Yeah, I should call her.
I just love that there's a kid.
You like that, don't you? I'm looking at you.
No,
You like-
no, I hate that, and I'm so glad I left it behind. But it reminds me of the exact. And coincidentally, she did lose her bar card.
She did.
Yeah.
Well, look, here's the new world order at the airport. If people can fly with their dogs, they'll fly with their dogs. Dignity's
Yeah.
dead. Dignity hit some rough air, hit the side of a mountain, and burst into flames years ago. So there is no more dignity at the airport.
All right.
There's only strict enforcement of everything now. There's no more, we're taking anyone's word for anything. There's dogs at the airport. There's poop all over the airport. We need stringent regulations and enforcement. Sorry. We never thought we'd come to this place in a society where we had to say you can't throw the bag up top, you can't shit up first class, you can't get up early and go walk to the front of the plane. We get off in the order that you're seated in, but we're going to have to start. That's where we're at. And the problem is they decided somewhere along the way, sort of 9/11, around 9/11, and then COVID kicked it into a different realm. We decided that the stewardesses or the flight attendants or whatever, now they're always like, we're here for your safety. We're here for your safety. Yeah, you're not here to do shit. It'd be like if you went to a restaurant, you sat down in a booth and you just went, could I get a martini? I'm here for your safety. And you went,
right.
Yeah, I want a drink though. Yeah, well, mainly here for your safety. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling pretty safe. I'd like a drink and some appetizers. I'm here for your safety. But let me check on the drink. It might take a while. That's kind of what it's turned into. They used to be there to bring you shit.
Right.
Now they're here for your safety. So now here for your safety. No more enforcing anything. No more bringing you shit. No more anything. And so there's nothing inherently dangerous about any of this activity. And they just back off. Plus, no one will talk about it, but there's a weird classism thing that we've all freaked out about, which is I go, hey, I pay an extra $1,000 for this ticket. I don't want that fat ass coach coming in here and shitting up my head. And they're like, whoa, it sounds pretty elitist to me. That's like, that's just math. It's like I go to the casino, I go in with the whales, I do a lot of gambling, I get a comp room.
Absolutely.
That's just how life works. That guy fucking playing nickel slots, he doesn't get a comp room. Why do you get a comp? I get a comp room because I paid.
But it's basic meritocracy. If you work hard and you have extra money and you want to have something, you want to have it. It doesn't make you a bad person. When did that become a bad thing?
Oh, let me tell you. I'll tell you when it became a bad thing. It's all our fault. It's not the poor people. It's not the dumb people. It's not the lazy people. And it's not the politicians. First off, politicians just lick their finger and go, which way is the fucking wind blowing?
Right.
What are we talking about? Black Lives Matter? Yeah, okay, I'm down with that. What is it again? What's it stand for? What? Ivermectin. Yeah, what's that? Horse paste? Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll just say whatever the fuck I'm going to say.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care. But this started a long time ago. And we started to kind of realize that rich people, it started in the 70s, but I wrote in one of my books that would, there was an America where a father went on a walk with his son and saw a guy go by in a big Mercedes up to the hill, up the top of the hill of the house. And the father said to the son, that's Mr. Jenkins. He's a successful businessman. He studied hard in college and he built a business for himself. And you know what, son? You study hard. You start a business. You work hard. One day you're going to have a house on the hill and a Mercedes Benz. That's what we used to do. Now the guy passes him the Mercedes up the hill, big house on top of the hill, and the dad says to his son, go find a rock so we can throw it at Mr. Jenkins' Mercedes next time he drives by.
But why? When give me the why.
Okay, I'll tell you why.
Because I grew up wanting to be Mr. Jenkins.
Me too. And I'll tell you exactly why. There are many more poor people than there are Mr. Jenkins.
But that was the thing back then too.
Right. But you have to take a look in the mirror and go, why is Mr. Jenkins successful? Like, okay, I work almost every weekend. I work almost every weekend. They go, well, you got money? Yeah, I work fucking Friday night, Saturday night. I work every weekend. But if there's 52 weekends out of the year, I work 37 weekends. All right, you don't work weekends. That's fine. You get your weekends, but you don't get the Mercedes. You know what I mean? And I saw in my own family, there's a lot of shame that goes along with it. These people fucking know they made mistakes. They didn't work hard enough. But they like drinking more than they like working out. They don't like getting up early. They just fucking want to enjoy themselves. You know, whatever that thing is. It's shame-based. But there's enough of them now where they can commiserate, and no one wants to find a mirror and figure out why they're not Mr. Jenkins. Instead, they get angry, and then they start talking about, well, Mr. Jenkins' dad, that guy's the guy who started the business. He was born on third base and thought all the stories about silver spoon, Nepo baby. I know tons of successful people. None of their parents were rich. Nobody was born on third fucking base. According to them, 92% of successful people were born on third base. They never want to hear the story about the guy working weekends and busting his hump and working 3 jobs and having the shitty job in college and so on and so forth, and saving and being responsible and not having a family until you're married and finishing high school and finishing college. A disciplined life. They don't want to hear it. It's shaming to them. Politicians realize there's a lot more fucking lazy ass dumb fucks than there are Mr. Jenkins. And by the way, my mom's lazy vote would cancel out Mr. Jenkins. Right. So when Gavin Newsom is making a speech, he's talking about the poor people, the brown people, the people that don't have a chance, that can't get a leg up. There's systemic racism. There's, they're impoverished people. There's systemic this and that, income inequality. And then the dumb people are going, that guy's getting my fucking vote, not the hard work and discipline guy over here. That's when it started. It's been going on for a long fucking time. And the reason I know it's been going on for so fucking long is I had a very unpopular saying I would do on Loveline. For me, it's easy. I've been speaking to a microphone for 30 years. So I just go back and go, Drew, what was I saying in 1997, 1996? One of the things I used to say all the time is I go, I'm a millionaire, literally a millionaire. And the reason I would say it into the microphone, because it sounds asinine, is because I was constantly being told, listen, this is K-Rock. We got a bunch of 14-year-olds from Orange County or skateboarders and stuff. They don't want to hear about you flying first class. They don't want to hear about you going out to a steakhouse. You got to pretend to be one of them. You'll get their vote, meaning they'll listen if you think they're them. I go, I'm not them. I'm funnier than they are. That's why I'm a millionaire. So I would go and I would make a joke about it, and no one else would do it. I just go, I'm a millionaire, Drew. Literally a millionaire.
How did Drew feel about this?
I loved it. As a 14-year-old skateboard kid, I loved it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Drew was scared shitless all the time.
So he didn't like
Drew's
that.
Drew's been a pussy who's been scared until like 10 minutes ago he had an awakening. Yeah. And he's like, fuck all this. But he was always scared. And I would always say it. And the reason I said it is because everyone was telling everyone. There used to be shows. Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Oh, yeah,
We're going to Morgan Fairchild's home, her palatial estate. You know, I'm a carpenter, right? And I'm a home improvement guy. And I've said a million times, it'd be a great show. Be a great show if I went out and I had my buddies. They're all, successful comedians, have these cool barns and these cool places and cool homes and all this cool stuff. I would go tour their house with them or whatever. Every single one's like, listen, I don't want people to know what I got. I don't want to be hated because they find out I got 9,000 square feet in Bel Air.
But that just happened. I mean, before that, they had Cribs, a show called Cribs. Yeah.
Right. Well, listen, black people are immune to this shit. Black people don't get. Arab and black people don't give a fuck about this. They're like, fuck it, I'm buying jewelry. You know what I mean?
They wear it in football games. I feel it's like someone's going to grab that.
Somebody's going to lose an artery to that shit. Yeah. But Whitey is like, listen. Well, thing about black people is no one goes, your dad owned the plantation. They don't do that. They go, they know your dad was fucking poor.
Right.
Whitey, they assume your dad had money. So they want to tamp it down. So, no, we have to round down. We have to pretend like we're all fucking poor. And that's why it's going on. Like, even back in the day, you'd see, like, Letterman. And Letterman be sitting there and have some rapper on or something. They go, I just bought a new Rolls Royce. And they go, let's talk about it. And they go, how much for the Rolls Royce? They go, $120,000. And Letterman be like, that's a little rich for my bloods. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
Like, hey, you make $32 million a year. You make $32 million a year. A lot more than the rapper guy makes. David Letterman, you buying a Rolls Royce be like me buying a used Festiva.
Except he,
Right.
didn't
So-
he buy like a whole race team? Or
Yeah,
something?
he did, but it's always tamped down.
Yeah.
All right, a little rich for your blood. A little rich for all the late night show guys. So it's a little rich for my blood. They average $25 million a year. I think they can afford a luxury automobile, but it's always a little rich for their blood. And that's how that's the whole. And we went that way, and the politicians went that way. Why is everyone telling a bullshit story about their hard scrabble upbringing? You know what I mean?
That
We
is
were
the thing
lower
now.
middle
You're right.
class. I
Yeah.
slept in my car. I didn't. It's like they'll always tell, but it's first off, they can't escape the reality. Like they always do this bullshit story where they go, lower middle class. We didn't have money growing up. My dad's a blue collar guy. When I was hiking through Spain when I was 19 for the summer, I slept. I go, you went to Spain when you were 19? Well, yeah, but I didn't stay at the Four Seasons. It's like, you went to Spain.
Yeah,
That's
big
enough.
deal. Yeah.
My first semester at Duke, it's like, okay, you went to Duke. You're not poor. You're not fucking poor. Stop.
I think
stop
it's
saying
a
you're
little
poor.
bit more impressive when somebody who comes from wealth can make it to the next level on their own, because, you know, the realization that you have money when you're like 14, 15, your family has it, you can kind of do whatever you want now. You know, once your brain forms, it's more impressive when somebody ascends from third base to home run.
Listen, I'm more impressed. I agree with you. Like, you know, Donald Trump's dad did real estate, did commercial real estate. I don't know, he did apartments in the Bronx or something.
Right.
And then he picked up that business and he moved it to Manhattan. He built skyscrapers.
Right.
Like, you know, a lot of other son became an alcoholic.
Yeah, he
and
could have
died.
been a pilot.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, in a weird way, the son who's into wealth and then takes it next level. I think you could have an outdoor sign business and take it from two buildings to 50 buildings or whatever.
Right.
Like that guy, because that guy can coast, whereas we were desperate.
No, I think Miller's right because, every kid I knew when I lived here for 31 years. All the trust fund kids had no ambition, no nothing. And now they're talking about the ones that were living in the Palisades, right? It's like, you don't understand. All the Palisades people weren't rich. Yeah, because they were given a house and they didn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Right? And that became a problem.
Yes.
You know, I have the phenomenon of fighters. Some fighters who are from good families and now like trying to be elite athletes in mixed martial arts, and it happens. But more often than not, I got a kid with nothing who's just a beast of an athlete. And who's, you know,
And hungry. All right. I'm going to be in Zany's, Rosemont, Illinois. That'll be Wednesday doing stand-up shows there. Well, guess who's working this weekend, everybody? July 17th. Doing shows at Road America, July 19th. I think that's Saturday. Oh, working Sunday, too, in Milwaukee, Pabst Theater. Oh, working another weekend. Got so lucky with my dad being the head of show business. Yeah.
Get on the road,
Get
Carolla.
on the road, Carolla. Vinny Tortorich, Fitness Confidential. That's the podcast. PureVitaminClub.com is where you go for all the good stuff. Listen to Vinny. He's always right. Sammy the Bull. He's got his podcast, Our Thing. Mayhem, what do you?
Yeah, I'm dropping a podcast soon. Follow me at Mayhem Miller.
And until next time, it's Adam for Sammy and Vinny and Mayhem saying mahalo. You take LA and you take New York, right? And you go, two of the premier, biggest cities in the world, and, you know, financial hubs and innovators and everything like that. And you go, here is the starting lineup of the mayors they've had for the last 20 years. And you go, okay, Tony Villar, least impressive guy. I mean, you failed the bar 4 times.
Yeah.
Four times you failed the bar. And you sound like a fucking dope when you talk. Eric Adams, guy's a fucking idiot. Karen Bass, socialist dope. No one's run a business. No one's done anything. Nobody's had any success. Nobody. Eric Garcetti's in India right now. I don't know, working in they gave him some consulate job just to fucking give him the fuck off the United States. So
he was the ambassador to India.
He stopped doing damage here, and we send it. He's gone. The point, and then there was De Blasio. Remember De Blasio sitting there going, hey, if you eat a cheeseburger and you get a shot, well, no, what are these? Crinkle fries? Hey, Bob, is it too early to eat crinkle fries? It's never too early for crinkle fries. Okay, you get an experimental vaccine and you can get a $2.50 cheeseburger. You want a free burger? You take Eric Adams. You got to write this down now. Let's see.
All right, give me a pen.
We got Eric Adams. We got Mamdani, who's going to be fucking worse. You got Antonio Villaraigosa. You got Mayor Bass. And then you got, who did I just say out of New York? Oh, here he is. Sorry. We'll play you this. Who is this? Sorry.
This is Bill de Blasio.
Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio. You take these 6 people. This is the last. These are the people who ran L.A. and New York for the last 20 years, and they're all fucking dopes. Can you believe? Like, how fucking dumb are we? Like, hey, here's the keys to the biggest city and the financial hub and the Hollywood and everything else, and we're gonna get these guys with these fucking 10-cent heads, or worse, in Mamdani or Karen Bass, like physically don't like the people that make the money in the city and the financial people and stuff like that. Here you go, run the fucking city. That's how fucking dumb these 2 cities are. And I mean, you go back, I will hear him, but you go with Villaraigosa, we're going back like 16 years. I don't know when de Blasio started. We can work it out, but I mean, together.
I think he was a one-term mayor during COVID.
We'll look that up. And then who before him, though? I mean, we got
Bloomberg?
I don't know if it's Bloomberg. Yeah. Combined, it's 30 years of dopes running these cities into the fucking ground. But we're just getting started with Mamdani.
Yeah, this sounds like the worst word problem ever, where you're like, Karen Bass, Mamdani, Garcetti are all on a bullet train. Well, a non-existent bullet train, one that doesn't exist. But they're all traveling at the speed of light to a place of nowhere. Right.
All right. So de Blasio hits in 14. So that's 11 years. And then when you go back to Antonio Villaraigosa, he hits in, I don't know, 08 or something like that. You basically got 30 years of both these cities being run by incompetent fucking dopes, which is, by the way, why they're falling apart, everybody, if you'd like to know. But all right, let's listen to retarded de Blasio telling you, hey, take an experimental vaccine that may have long-term negative ramifications, but you can get $4 worth of crinkle fries.
Free fries when you get vaccinated? I got vaccinated. You're saying I could get this? Sweet, delicious fries?
Right.
Wait a minute. But there's also a burger element to this?
It's a fucking retard.
Yeah, that's why they put
let me
toys in Happy Meals.
Is it too early in the day to eat a burger? No. This could be breakfast? Okay. I want you to look at this and think about, again, some people love hamburgers, some don't. Really want to respect all ways of life.
Everybody.
But if this is appealing to you, just think of this when you think of vaccination.
Vaccination and a side of fries. Jesus Christ. These guys are criminal dopes.
I'm getting a very good feeling.
A very good feeling about $4 worth of fucking junk food. You get your kid experimentally vaccinated.
Yeah, you also get a case of the shakes, too, after you get that vaccine.
You get the shakes. In this case, it'd be vanilla, but in Eric Adams, it'd be a chocolate chip.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
The 2 biggest cities really in the world, governed by semi-retarded fucking dopes for a 30-year run. 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about...
Okay, listen. Whoever's writing on the screen, de Blasio followed by Eric Adams and now Mamdani. Yes, the thing I've been yelling about for 20 minutes... I'm aware of the order. I asked when did I asked that, and I asked when did Villaraigosa take office, not if Eric Adams came after, and not who came after Eric Adams. I just told you. I told you all that stuff. But I'm asking, when did Tony Villar, Antonio Villaraigosa, when did he start? That was my question, not if Eric Adams was the mayor. All right.
Yeah, Minnesota, when we had Tim Pawlenty, people bitched about that guy for a long time. And then it moved over to
2005. Sorry for cutting off.
That's right.
2005. So we're going back 20 years of retarded 10-cent headed dopes running Los Angeles. And by the way, if you want to know why there's graffiti everywhere and garbage everywhere and a homeless problem, and everyone goes, oh, there's a problem with homeless, there's a problem with graffiti, and there's a problem with crime, and where's all the runaway production? Why is everyone shooting in Atlanta and New Mexico? You can't run a fucking city for 20 years with fucking dopes and not expect the city to get shitty. But you couldn't run an unfinished furniture company either with 20 years of dopey family members running it. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. You were telling me.
Well, first off, hang on. Boys, we got to update the Rant of the Year section for the Ace Awards coming up in 2 weeks. Because, boy, this is a top contender. I'll tell you that.
Well, what do we expect? And by the way, fuck y'all who keep voting for dopes. You get this.
Yeah.
Get it on. Got to get on it. Judgment. Get it on. Doctors Board First Side Six Medicine Specialist. I am going to be in Santa Barbara. This Friday.
Do tell.
Doing stand up over there. And then Saturday, Corona, and then off to Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just got back from there.
Oh, yeah?
With traveling with a 1-year-old is good times.
Oh, granddaughter?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Woo.
Good times. Worked out okay, but the ride back was a little challenging. Too tired.
Let's see. What do we got with you, Drew? I got more Burt
so
Reynolds for you.
Yeah, I know. They gave me a little hint of what's ahead. I'm in. And it pertains to me talking about my granddaughter. I did a little promo for one of our throwback episodes, and I was thinking to myself, gosh, we don't talk about our personal lives anymore almost at all. The world is just crushed in around us. You know what I mean? We don't have any time.
Yeah. I mean, just a lot of really bad ideas out there. I'm really just starting. I've been drilling down on this kind of chick think, and like people, they just get up there and they go, it's all these like middle-aged women going, you know what? I'm the kind of person that believes in equality, and I believe that everyone deserves, and I don't judge by the color of their skin, and I believe in immigrants. And it's
must
like,
feel so good.
You talk, talk. And then you see Trump sit down. He's like, I did tariffs in Ukraine, and we're lowering the cost. He keeps going, the price of gas is under $3 in like 20 states. The price of gas is that. And I'm like, yes, good numbers.
Yes.
Things. It's so funny. Like in one Trump presser, there's more numbers thrown around than there were the entire Biden administration, which is just about people of color and good vibes. And don't get me wrong, I would be fine with all that if any of it ever worked or anything came out the other side.
Right.
Your sweeping proclamations about treating people with dignity are fine.
Yeah.
But first, we got to do shit. And and by the way, you want to know what the ultimate dignity is? Stop taking so much of my fucking money, government. How about a little
wasting
dignity?
it once you get
or
it,
just
too.
squandering it. Yeah, whatever it is. You want the homeless treated with dignity. Well, okay, treat them with dignity, but they shit their pants. They're expiring on the street. You want everyone with dignity all the time, but nothing ever comes out the other end. Yeah. And I'm now at the phase where I'm realizing people are dying.
Oh, yeah. This has been going on for a long time.
I mean, it's getting dangerous. Whatever it is you're doing is fucking things up and costing a bunch of lives.
Let me just touch on three possibilities, three areas where lives are being lost. You mentioned homeless. hundreds of thousands of people dying on the streets, neglect, not allowed to be seen by doctors and nurses. Okay, well done.
Right.
Yeah, just give them a house, they'll be fine. Okay, if that's all we needed for complex medical psychiatric problems, just 4 walls, my God, we would never need any doctors
But by the way, we can't do that. I mean, without
grift.
Newsom was going to build tiny houses. They're going to be $675,000 a unit for 400 square feet. Like, and by the way, but it's not. We never did it. It's not. We don't even do the part that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah, well, good.
But it's all fucking chick think. It's all chick think.
So there's one.
Bro.
Number 2, we had some recent leaks from the HHS that, lo and behold, there's a 0 probability of hospitalization and death from COVID, a non-zero probability of serious injury from the vaccine.
Right. So I just got done yelling at all the moms.
Yeah, moms did that.
I just said, moms, you did this.
Yeah.
Moms, I have kids that were needlessly experimented on with vaccines when they were 13 or 14 years old. They did not need it.
And lockdowns.
And lockdowns.
Fuck their education up, their social development.
Because Dumbo mom got scared. Because she wouldn't look into what other people were saying. She sat around, got scared, and ran with the pack, and now you potentially harmed your kids. That's what happens. Now, I don't think they'll be harmed, but I don't know what the long-term ramifications were of an experimental vaccine and the long-term ramifications of school closures and all those kinds of things. Moms, you did it. In the name of safety, you hurt your kids.
And then there's a third category that the moms participated in. And I'm not saying, what I'm saying is the excessive enthusiasm and the lack of clinical evidence, less ability to follow what is clinically mandated when kids express transgender feelings.
Yes.
There's no data to follow. There's no, sort of a clinical pathway that has a evidence basis to it.
Right.
And so people were hurt because of that.
Right. So
with the moms.
Right. But I'm saying moms, politicians, whomever, how long can you hide behind the shield of I meant good?
I have no doubt they meant good.
I know, but you're harming people. So at a certain point, you can be driving and you can be the best person in the world and you can be texting because you're telling the orphanage you're running late with their Christmas ham you're bringing, and then you could T-bone somebody and kill somebody.
Yeah.
Sorry, vehicular manslaughter.
Right. And by the way,
doesn't matter
most
how
of the time
good
I'm
you
good.
are.
I'm good the rest of the time.
That's right.
I love this part too. He only murdered on one day.
Yeah,
It's just
just the
one
one.
bad day.
So
Okay.
I'm saying whether it's moms or politicians, your horrible fucking policies are killing people. And at a certain point, we need to hold you responsible for your horrific ideas.
At least when do we stop listening?
Well, I never listen. But society does.
The press, maybe they need to get a little sort of religion here.
It'd be nice, but also no one really listens to the press anymore. I've sort of realized.
I hope not. That would be great news if that were true. 'Cause unfortunately, I think there's a bubble of people that really do.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's a problem.
There still is.
Yeah.
All right. I got some Burt Reynolds.
Oh yes. God, hallelujah.
I think this one is Whoopi Goldberg talking about trans. Whoopi Goldberg doesn't make sense in her own voice, but when you hear her Bert's voice, it really, the chickens come home to roost in terms of her.
Jumps out.
Well, again, I was telling you, how can you string together a thought if new thoughts keep popping in and interrupting the first thought and the second thought? And
Well, this is
kind of
back
what she
to
does.
something you and I have talked about. I'm not sure if it's on the show or not, but logic, death of logic.
Right.
Logic has to be kind of pursued carefully.
Well,
has to be
that's
followed.
Right. Well, logic keeps you in your lane because logic is linear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying. If you talk to me about building, I would go, well, we got to get a soils report.
Yeah.
And then we got to get engineering. And then we got to get the foundation. We got to engineer them, do the foundation. Then we're going to frame. Then we're going to.
No.
But I'm not going to go. We're going to get the soils report, and then we're going curtain shopping.
Right.
And then we're going to look at sofas and end tables, and then we're going to do the foundation. Then we're going to do the framing. Then we're going to look at swatches for wallpaper. No. I know the subject. It's linear. It starts here, and then at some point we'll get to the wallpaper
Has an order.
swatches.
There's
But
an order.
I don't have all these. Right. I don't have all these crazy, wild line ideas popping into my head in the middle of the order. All right, but here's Whoopi talking about transgender. Female athletes too.
Well, I think part of the problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. So when you come in and you say, oh, these men, these are men, competing against women, you're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except my hair. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing. So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue. The same for me as when people say, oh, I don't know how I feel about you. You do. God doesn't make mistakes. And the challenge is not to the trans people.
What?
It's to the people who are not trans.
What?
That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Those are
It's
nine
a
thoughts
fucking
or the
jumble. If you took words and just put them on ping pong balls and put them in a bingo hopper and just pulled them out. This woman makes her living talking on TV.
Wow.
But she makes her living talking to other dumb women. And that's how it worked. Now that's where we're at.
I bet they applauded too at the end of that.
They
oh
love
God,
it.
yes,
They love
God,
it. All
God
right,
makes-
all right. And then all of them go out and vote.
Oh, boy.
And then we get this. This is where we're at, Drew. We're in the middle of crazy chick thing.
Whew. That's
Yeah.
a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another good one.
Well, this is Nithya Raman. I think you've heard this one.
I have heard it, but I didn't realize. I heard about 2 sentences of this, and it's so bizarre. I didn't even connect it to her.
She's a LA City Councilwoman who's, well, if you don't like tree houses made on private property, she's your girl.
Yeah.
She had that was in her district.
By the way, for neighborhood kids.
For
their use.
Well, it's too dangerous.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything's
Safe,
dangerous.
safe.
Uber Alice. Right. So
We have a company.
It's been up for 20. By the way, I don't know. Don't hit play when I'm talking, probably.
Oh, on the other hand.
But it was up for 20 years. But anyway, that came
kids
down. But the
injured.
other
So
thing that
many
came
kids.
down was the U-turn sign in the gay part of town for cruising. It's awesome. I mean, she's doing the Lord's work. Anyway. Oh, we've never played the Nithya Raman Toyota one.
Not for me.
Drew?
Not for me.
Okay. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. She's going to explain how to prevent getting catalytic converters stolen.
Yes. Too many. There's a problem with catalytic converters being stolen on the streets of Los Angeles.
An actor was killed interrupting.
I know.
You didn't know about that story?
I don't remember that. Mm-mm.
You didn't know about that one? Mm-mm. Well, the guy came out. He was doing some bartending at night, and he came out as an actor, and they're in the middle of jacking the catalytic converter. And he walked up on the guy, and they shot him dead.
Jesus.
You didn't hear about that, huh?
No.
It was
shocking.
all Johnny. His name was Wachter, which is funny. He was on, like, I don't know, soaps and stuff like that. Just, in his 30s, just executed.
Horrible.
Yeah, okay. But Nithya's got a solution.
We have a company, the pre-whatever Toyota who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars which is super easy to remove. It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car. And then the thefts related to this issue have essentially all of the costs of that are given to us to bear, instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen.
Wow. Well, yeah, what was that?
I don't know. She said that into a.
And do a
she
microphone in
used
front of
a
people.
device to amplify her voice, so people in the back of the auditorium could hear this fucking bitch babbling on about nothing. She went to Harvard, by the way. Harvard's done, right?
Yeah.
That's her speech.
I like the way she talks about first of all, the catalytic converter is like some sort of magic box.
Yeah,
it has
yeah,
this
so
thing
easy.
on it. This. By the way, I guarantee you, back in the 70s when we were getting these catalytic converters, she was a gigantic champion of getting that catalytic converter as part of the vehicle to reduce emissions. Right?
Oh,
this is her team. Good for her. You did it.
But it's so easily to be stolen on the part of the car where they put it.
And by the way, are they only selecting Toyota catalytic converters? is that the only ones?
But that's the. I mean, first off, I don't know where we want to start, on our journey through retardville here. But there's many Hondas, there's many Fords, and there's many other. There's Toyota Camrys. There's many everything. There's a million brands, and they all have a catalytic converter, and they're all being stolen.
Yes,
right.
And describe what you have to do to easily steal these catalytic converters.
Well, first you have to access it because it is in the center of the car.
In the chassis, sort of.
Yeah, it is, but there's nothing harder to access than the actual center, front, back, right, left of the car. And it's inside what would be, I don't know, the transmission tunnel or something, what call it. It's up flush mounted. It's not hanging down.
Right.
It'd be scraped off every time you went over a speed bump. So it's flushed up.
Into the car, yes.
Into the car. So first thing you have to do is jack up the car.
So you got to jack out, probably a big one too, right? One of those sort of, because you don't want that thing falling on your head when you're underneath.
You're looking for the term floor jack.
A floor jack
versus a bottle jack versus a scissor jack versus a screw jack.
Floor jack. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you make this stuff up? Adam?
One of those big ones.
Yeah, I make it up. I make up all the jacks. None of them exist.
I don't know. I know the floor jack and a one you get in the back of the car with your tire.
That's a scissor.
Okay.
Probably. Could be screw. Point is it could be bottle. Probably not bottle. Here's the point. A floor jack, yes, you need a floor jack. You have to get under the car.
Yeah.
Number one. Then you have to get to the center of the car. And then presumably you're going to need some light because it's going to be at night. It's going to be pitch black underneath the car. And then you're going to need a device like a Sawzall or a reciprocating saw or a bayonet saw, which is all the same. Sawzall's just a brand name, but the more popular version of it. They sort of pioneered the reciprocating / bayonet saw. So you have to get under there and you have to cut through some steel to get it loose. And it's going to take a minute, but it's also going to be real fucking loud, too, because it is a steel cutting blade cutting 3-inch steel pipe underneath a car in the middle of a residential neighborhood, theoretically, 2 a.m. or whenever it is. So,
God, I wish somebody just held up a Sawzall and went, "Excuse me, Nithya, do you know what this is? Do you have any idea?"
She doesn't know anything.
But I mean, this is what's required to take these out. After you get it jacked up and lit properly.
Well, I would say anything that you physically cut out of a car would fall under the heading of difficult.
I would think.
Versus things you could pop off, like steal a gas cap or something like that. Or a tire or rims or whatever, license plate. You know what I mean? Like I'd go, license plate's pretty easy to steal. You need a screwdriver and that's about it. But you don't have to get under the car. You don't have to cut anything.
Right.
Yeah. We should hear, by the way, I'd like to hear her. I'd like to hear I'd like to hear it one more time because it's funny that people don't really tap into this stuff. I tap into it. I'm like, oh, this person has a 10-cent head.
Not going to work.
And this is not going to work. And she's going to take this to every subject.
Yeah.
She's not in charge of catalytic converters. She's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And that's where the 10-cent head comes in. Mixed with a bunch of Harvard and some chick think in there, too. It is the best. Well, I don't know. Let's watch the actual one, I guess, because we're looking for that. But it is.
So hard. It's
Well,
so
now, okay, so now you go, all right, take this dumb shit, and now get 8 more like her, and then Karen Bass, and then have them run Los Angeles, and then you have a shit show. That's
a total shit show.
Well, what you have is a focus
on
removing U-turn signs in gay neighborhoods and or tearing down tree houses, but not filling reservoirs.
Right. Not governing.
No, because it's more fun to do the photo op where you take down the no cruising sign because you have the gay.
That's why I got into government.
Right, you have the gay community applauding you while you're doing that. Meanwhile, a mile to the south, the fucking reservoir's empty.
So disturbing.
Well, first off, how else would this work? And then when the Trumps of the world show up, they get super agitated because he wants to know what's going on with the fucking reservoir. And they don't like that.
Right, of course.
So really,
he's mean.
They do a lot of, race and xenophobic and homophobic, but they're really like, this guy's showing up and he wants to know what the fuck's going on, and that's why we don't like him. But it's the same way they wouldn't like their stepdad if they came into their dorm room and went, this place is a mess. What am I paying for here? I'm paying for your tuition to go to this college. I pay for the dorm room, and it's embarrassing. So clean up. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to be angry at the stepdad. Of
course.
Right. They're never going to pay for their own dorm room.
No. Well, no. Please.
And by the way, the critique of the stepdad isn't going to be him wanting to clean my dorm room. They're going to call him an asshole,
He's
a
mean.
misogynist.
Right. He's mean.
He hates
me.
girls.
Yeah,
he hates girls.
Hates whatever.
All right, here she is in the flesh.
Things that really infuriates me is that
She's
we have
infuriated.
a company, the Prius, whatever, Toyota, who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars, which is super easy to remove.
Super easy.
It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car.
All right, hold on, pause it. Here's so the language, I'm sure I've talked to you about this a million times, on the long end, it's like, I was intimidated. This guy came at me. And, it's like, oh, listen, you want to push the fucking ice guy and he pushed you back. I don't know what the fuck you want, but you listen to the language, right? It goes both ways. It's incredibly easy to steal. Like, it's super incredible. There is not a human being that would call a piece of pipe welded into the bottom of a car super easy.
Let's accept.
I mean, even if it is.
Look, let's accept her position. Okay, it's easy. So therefore, if I actually put a MacBook in the back seat of my car and somebody ransacks my fucking car,
well, that's on
me.
Well, it's on Toyota for not welding bars where your windows are.
Right.
Because why not? Why shouldn't they put bars there? Because it's super easy.
Super easy to pull shit out of the car. Yeah.
Right.
That's that logic.
It's awesome. Well, it's funny because it's not even right. Yeah. We'll play it out. Sorry, go ahead.
Put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car, and then the thefts related
and she's
to
so
this
delighted
issue
with herself.
Essentially, all of the costs of that are given to us to bear instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen. I think it's outrageous. Our police department is dealing with it. Our residents are dealing with it.
Yeah, she's so right.
It's outrageous. Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That's Sherman Oaks, everybody. That's in Sherman Oaks.
And there's a haunted tree house that's on Van Ness Street, and that's coming down. Wait, does this keep going, by the way? I love that the dullards are fucking knocking their flippers together.
This is a longer one than what we're used to.
It is.
This was, I couldn't find it on Twitter.
That's fine,
but I found it on YouTube.
but it stops there. It doesn't keep going. Or does it? No, that's it. Okay. Yeah, I forgot a smattering of applause. Yeah, Yeah, cops trying to do their job. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Holidays are upon us. Some people have a million traditions, but some are just kind of improvising. Same with food every year. Same movie, same routine, same football games. Maybe you're at the point where you want to rewrite that script a little bit. Therapy can be one of those new traditions, a built-in way to take an hour for yourself, get some clarity instead of just white-knuckling your way through December. You got to regulate those emotions, and that requires a little help. BetterHelp gives you access to fully licensed therapists in the U.S. who work under a strict code of conduct. So you're not just venting into the void, you're talking to someone who can actually help. If the holidays are stressful, lonely, or just louder than your own thoughts, consider using December to close the year with some clarity instead of chaos with BetterHelp online therapy. Right, Daphne?
This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/AdamandDrew. That's betterhelp.com/AdamandDrew.
Okay, Drew.
Yeah.
You want any more Burt Reynolds?
Well, if you got it, I almost don't want to. I almost want to spread it out for my Christmas holiday.
All right.
You know?
All right.
I got a couple other things. I do.
Okay.
Do you see that Kim Kardashian had a brain scan?
Yeah, I saw that.
What'd you think of that? Essentially, Dan Amon did a SPECT scan, and it showed...
Who's Dan Amon?
He's a psychiatrist that uses neuroimaging to sort of make...
Do you think people know who that is?
I was going to get to it. I appreciate it. Okay. And he saw decreased activity, or what he calls holes in the frontal lobes, which is guess what part of the brain that is? It's the reasoning executive part. Interesting. And she's having difficulty passing the bar, and it's tough concentrating. She got a lot of stuff going on. So it's all being sort of glossed over a little bit because you have low activity. SPECT scans are not great. They're not functional MRIs. Mm-hmm. They're sort of correlative. Like, okay, there may be something going on there. Certainly fits with Kim's stuff, it seems to me. And he's going to give her some ideas on how to improve brain health, blah, blah, blah. May or may not work. Here's how really she needs to improve it.
I predict fish oil at some point is going to come up because we've been talking about fish oil for 40 years.
He does a lot of fish oil.
He does?
A lot of saffron, a lot of fish oil.
I've never heard that. I don't know who he is, but all I know is somehow fish oil comes up every time.
Did they mention DHA anywhere in her stuff?
Yeah, no, it's fish oil because everyone knows the smartest creatures on the earth are mackerel. So just use your head, Drew. You know how smart mackerel are?
Oh, the smartest creature.
You know, sometimes you
need a dose of that.
Swimming in the ocean, you see mackerel doing long division. Yeah.
Hey, Siri, was Kim Kardashian recommended to take DHA for her brain holes? Let's see what Siri has to say about this. Doesn't say particularly.
All right, so I'm really starting to just think that people's brains are just sort of insufficient or something. Deficient.
Well, yes, that is correct, and that's why we used to have education. Mm-hmm. To grind it, to rewire it, to grind it into performance. Mm-hmm. It's like learning to play here. Mm-hmm. Okay, not specifically recommended.
All right.
But general advice for brain health often includes omega-3 fatty acids.
Fish oil.
There it is. Mm-hmm. But much like, how this is no different than how you would learn to play the violin. Right? Mm-hmm. Do you just go do it and all of a sudden you can play the violin? Well, no, you have to repeat and repeat and build for thousands of hours.
You can teach people. Here's my argument, Drew. I've made it a million times.
Yeah.
Nobody who grew up on a farm or in any kind of rural environment or did any kind of work at a mill or a mining or a shop or anything would utter what Nithya Raman uttered at that town hall.
Right.
Because they'd realize how fucking retarded that sounded because if you worked on a farm, you could never say what she said. She grew up in academia and then went to Harvard and then was able to put those thoughts together because she never grew up. It's like literally growing up in outer space. We're just floating around everywhere and there's no gravity.
So I'm realizing that both you and I have the same impression on this, but we come to it from two different places. Back in the day, the academia used to be about connecting you to reality and the truth and grounding in evidence. And that's gone.
Yeah, I will say that anybody who studied some hard science or something, I mean, like I said, just really...
Even there, it's getting fucked up, though.
Even, mastered an instrument or something like that. Yes. I will, sure, it's not all about stacking wood and stuff like that. I just mean, but they're growing up in some sort of
zero gravity
world, but just, it's basically, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to yell free Palestine, and then my work will be done. But meanwhile, you know nothing, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and who's keeping Palestine unfree, and then you think this is ever going to fucking work, and it never has, and there never will because of the people in Palestine. But I'm just going to yell free Palestine, and then I'm going to go have a latte, and meanwhile, nothing will ever get done. And then when Trump does his presser, it's like nothing but building and tariffs and percentages and bottom lines and fuel and drill and energy and independence and deals. It's all pragmatic, and they fucking hate it.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot of women don't like me because I'm too fucking pragmatic.
A lot.
It bothers them. Well, it bothers them because they want to
come off as mean.
Right. They want to say a bunch of retarded shit, and then I say stuff that corrects them, and then they get angry.
You're mean.
Well, makes
you're
me
annoying.
Mean.
You're annoying.
Yes.
At best, you're annoying. But
well, what did I do? All through COVID, all I did was annoy people with my ideas.
That turned out to be correct.
Well, yeah, I knew I was correct. They may have known I was correct, but all it did was piss off everybody around me all day, every day.
But the interesting thing is why we don't learn. That's just fascinating.
I learn.
I do too.
I learned they're fucking retarded. That's what I learned. They don't learn anything because you know why? Because they get angry. Well, look, when a cop pulls you over, and he tells you you're going 50 and a 30, you can get angry at the cop, but it's not going to help you learn to slow down and thus avoid getting pulled over again. You just get angry at the cop.
Well, it's the same thing with Kim Kardashian. She's like, I don't need to go to law school. I just need to pass the bar.
Right.
And so there's this phantasmagoric world where you don't have to do the training. Like, I can play the piano. I'll just sit down. I'll play. I'll just use my instincts. I'll figure it out. I can hear it. They just won't do.
It's kind of interesting. I've also found out, I've seen a lot of women like standing in front of ICE or cops or uniformed whoever, or just dudes driving trucks going, come on, bro, get out of the car. Let's go. And it's like, you're chubby. You're middle-aged. You have no fucking training in combat at all.
It's not going to go.
And you want this guy to get out of his truck, and you're begging for him to fight.
Yeah.
You have no skills. You have no training. You have no anything. That's part of that brain.
It's part of that brain, and it is the purpose of rough and tumble play amongst males early in life. They learn with the consequences of that stuff, how to regulate that stuff.
All right. You can go to adamcarolla.com. Live shows coming up everywhere. What do you got, Drew?
Doctor.com, Doctor.tv. Check out Ask Dr. Drew on Rumble and YouTube.
So, till next time, Adam Carolla, Dr. Sam. Mahala. I wanted to talk to you because because you're from Minnesota, the whole Somali thing. Mm-hmm. It's all up in the news now. And there's a danger to what's going on over there. I think we have a clip of the mayor, and he's speaking in Somali and doing all that stuff. I worry about this. People hate me because I don't like all the diversity shit. Yeah. Because it ends up this way, because it can't go any other way. But they call it xenophobic or racist or something. But I want to say this, and I've said it my whole career that I've spoken into a microphone, which is Somalia is Somalia because it's filled with Somalians. And Mexico is Mexico because it's filled with Mexicans. And Sweden because it's filled with Swedes. It is what it is. And Germany's Germany and Italy's Italy. You can say whatever you want about any place. And I made this joke a million times a million years ago. They go, this thing they do with like all these Middle Eastern countries, they go, it's the people. The people are good. The people are good, honest, hardworking people. It's the governor. It's the politicians. And I go, where are they from?
Yeah.
What part of Norway Dude, your shithole ashtray Middle Eastern country, where do you get? Oh, they're from your country. Oh, they're you. And then you vote them in.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not pretend that everything is the same.
Yeah.
Somali has, it's 2025. You guys still have pirates. You understand what year it is?
Yeah.
You understand? You do human trafficking. You have pirates. You have shit slavery. You have shit that we haven't had for 200 years around here. So let's not all pretend everything's the same. And by the way, I would prefer a German car to an American car.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm not USA #1, rah, 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 all the time. There's plenty of other countries. You know, if you said to me, I'm going to get an electric razor. Would you like one made in Germany, one made in Canada, one made in Mexico, or one made in America? I'll go, I'll take the German one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going USA per se.
Sure.
Okay. There's differences. There's differences in cultures. There's differences. We don't, for instance, the United States, we don't haggle. In Middle Eastern countries, if you don't haggle, you're considered retarded.
Yeah.
Like there's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's just cultural differences. Okay, fine. And then some involve like female genital mutilation, and we go, well, we don't like that.
Sure.
And then others are like, every night in this culture, Sunday night, the grandparents and the parents, they all come together and they all have dinner together. I go, good, because my family got TV dinners and ran to separate rooms and watched a TV set.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. That's a good thing. But don't expect when you import a lot of people from a certain place that they're not going to just start doing whatever it is they did in their place, because that's what they do. LA, when you drive through certain parts of LA, it looks like a goddamn street bazaar. There is cooking, there's sweaters, there's ponchos, there's stuff being sold all over the street. That never existed. It was impossible. I grew up here. Nobody sold anything on the street. You would go to a garage sale on a Sunday and drive around, people sell shit out of their garage. Mm-hmm. There's no commerce, there was no food, there's nothing. Well, now it's here, and we have a lot of it. Well, why? Well, we had a bunch of people who come from a culture who do that. Now, should we be angry at them? Not really. They're just doing what they did in their culture. And by the way, they're playing their music. They're not playing your Motley Crue. They're playing mariachi.
Shout. Yeah,
they go from Motley to Mary. Motliachi.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are certain cultures that treat women a certain way, treat gays a certain way, treat the environment a certain way. Like there's certain cultures that are trashier, like they don't recycle as much. And there are other cultures like Japanese who are fastidious, right? They clean up a lot. Okay, when you invite all these people in, you're going to get that. And I told you when I was walking through my dad's old neighborhood in South Philly, and I was doing shows in Philly, and I had some time, and I literally went to his old address in South Philly that I hadn't been to since I was 6, and I walked around South Philly, and it's a shit show, and there's garbage everywhere, and there's box springs and mattresses and old sofas out on the street. It looks like what it is, right? And I felt bad for my dad, who grew up in South Philly, and I literally crossed the street. I was walking through the neighborhood, and I just crossed one intersection to the other side, immediately sparkling clean, no more garbage, no more junk out on the street, no more box springs or sofas, nothing. Became immediately clean.
Yeah.
And I, because I'm a pattern studier, I just stopped. It was me and Mike August walking around. He was looking for toilet paper. And I went, what's going on over here? And it's like, I go, well, now all of a sudden it's all orderly and clean and nice. Oh, yeah, there's no garbage over on that, just across the street. So I started working my brain. I was like, one side must be the city and must be the county or something like that. And the county takes care of their shit, but the city, whatever. And I was obsessed with it, and I kept asking. I started saying to people, I go, what's the difference? We just crossed over Main Street here. It's like, he goes, I go, this is the Japanese section.
Mm-hmm.
I go, oh, they clean up their shit. It's a culture.
Yeah.
That's the Japanese. When you cross Hoover Street, you're in Japanese territory, and Japanese people don't tolerate shit all over the fucking sidewalk. Okay, then you can go, is that good or bad? I don't know. I like clean sidewalks, so I'd be fine with that. So then if someone said, what if we're going to take Japanese and import them into your neighborhood? I'd go, clean sidewalk? All right, I'll do with that. But there are other cultures that are a little more trash-oriented, and I would go, no, I'm not all right with that. So this notion, let's just hear the mayor doing what's bound to happen, because once you keep importing these people, then they become a constituency, and then you have to start thinking about them because that's your voting block.
Sure.
So then the white guy, go ahead.
That's not American. That's not what we are about. And we're going to do right by every single person in our cities. And so to our Somali community, Daman Shabka, Somalied Kunul, Minnesota, Garahan, Minneapolis, Waan, Ku Janilahai, Waan, Ku Gereb, Taganahan.
It sounds so pandering, doesn't it? It sounds like you're just completely sucking off the people who vote for you that live in that state.
Right. And so what happens is, the reason I don't want the teachers' unions funding Gavin Newsom's campaign is because then when COVID comes around, you shut the fucking schools down and Gavin Newsom can't tell you to open them, even if he wants it open, because he needs you and he needs your support and he needs your money.
Yeah.
So now you got Mayor Jacob Fry of Minneapolis, and he has to kowtow to this community.
Yep.
And now we're fucked because their community isn't the same as our community, and assimilation is fine, but you don't assimilate when you become a community.
Yeah.
Because why do you need to assimilate? You got your food, you got your people, you got your language, you got religion, you have everything else. And then they have to bend over backwards and explain that they're the backbone of democracy in this country and everything like that.
Yeah.
But you know it because you live there.
Well, here's the thing is this, he's totally, as you're talking about, like, pandering to the constituency, the people that are going to vote for him and the people that are on his side. But the second that he does anything that is against them, boy, they turn their backs on him immediately. Andrew, I should have brought this up to you, but see if you can find a video. This was during George Floyd, where during a protest, Mayor Fry went down to go have a conversation with the protesters. And essentially, a woman with a bullhorn tells him to get his white ass off her street, and he does it.
Well, here's the whole thing. It'll never work.
Never.
Big picture.
No.
Big picture, they're always going to fucking hate you. You'll never do enough. But what the problem is this becomes your constituency and your voter block. Bullshit. Then they start laundering money.
Yeah.
And it's always the euphemistic, it's kids first who care the most or whatever, feed the hungry, whatever. And then they start laundering the fucking money because it's free fucking money and they're doing what they would do.
Yeah. And I said this a year ago before any of this information came out about the fraud with the autism centers and all that. Because people would always say, like, what's going on in Minneapolis? It's a total shithole now. And it's not. Everything about Minneapolis is great. That whole city, the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. St. Paul's got a couple of problems in Lower Town after they put the light rail in. A lot of crime is happening in St. Paul right now. Minneapolis is still pretty good, but it's not Portland. It's not Seattle. It's not, like 6th Street in Austin. It's none of those things. It's a small block. And I always said, if there's anything going on, it's going to be something in government. It's going to be something behind the scenes that we're not seeing, because anytime there's a homeless encampment, we take care of it. Anytime there's something going on, we try to keep our streets as clean as we possibly can. There's going to be something that goes on that's going to be financially, and boom, this is what happens when you see. But this is the video Andrew was I told Andrew about, where Mayor Fry goes down to basically have a conversation, and they throw him out.
That's good. Go home, Jacob. Go home. Well, he's wearing a mask at least. I love this.
These are the people that voted for him, and that he's also kissing their ass in the last video we just watched. They tell him to leave.
Well, good. Oh, shame. Shame.
The mayor.
White silence is violence. I love that. I wish you would shut up, bitch.
Community, not cops. Yeah, okay. How did that work out?
Nothing works.
No.
None of their ideas. They're all fucking horrible ideas. None of them work. But So there was this whole money laundering thing, and it was Somalis, and then of course, if you brought it up, it was a hate crime.
Yeah.
And this is their constituency, and so then the governor, Tim Walz, doesn't want to look into it. I love the lobby of Feeding Our Future. It's got all the kids from all the nations of the world. They love kids like Michael Jackson loved those kids, don't they? They love all the children of the world, and they also love a bunch of fucking free money, and they like to launder it, and it'll go back to their native land where they'll support terrorists. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, you got pirates, you got terrorists. That's an awesome, but we're not judging. You can't judge. It's all great. I love Trump when he's up there. He's like, shithole. We don't want those people. I'm like, thank you. But what is the Somali area like? Like, what is different about it? What's good? What's bad? How's it changed?
Yeah, there's one section of Minneapolis which is called the West Bank, and Andrew or Dawson, you guys can find a photo of it. Look for it. Basically, just type in multicolored apartments Minneapolis, and across the street from downtown, where the U.S. Bank Stadium is, across the Highway 35, there's a couple of high rises. These were built, I believe, there's a documentary that came out about it. It was built like in the 60s or 70s as luxury apartments. It was a beautiful place that they tried to get people into. The kind of the hippie region of West Bank tried to get this place torn down. They didn't want people to build it. It was built. Essentially what happened is the Somali community moves into Minneapolis, and they sort of take over the West Bank. And what used to, that's them right there. We call those the crack stacks now. Mm-hmm. It is. I've driven past it a couple of times. There was a couple of great music venues and some great bars in that area, all of which have now moved out. A lot of the restaurants, which some of the food there fantastic, but there isn't a lick of English anywhere around those.
Well, I do want to say this to all the peoples of the world. You lived in a shithole that you had to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know why you want to recreate that shithole here. Mm-hmm. But if you're not going to assimilate, then you will recreate your shithole here.
Yeah.
And by the way, you don't flourish.
No.
The Mexicans in Los Angeles don't flourish by selling street fucking food. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to assimilate, learn English, and become a doctor and a lawyer. That's the dream. That's how it works. But the politicians have decided that they're going to kiss your ass. And so, like when I was out here years ago, they're like English only in schools. And then, of course, the politicians are like, they need to be bilingual. No, they need to speak English and they need to learn English. And that's our language. And you're hurting them by trying to bend to their will.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And now you got this. And then what they get to do is Tim Walz and these guys get just to call everything a hate crime if you want to then look into the $1 billion that got laundered and wasted by these fucking people with your stupid COVID policies.
Yeah. Andrew and I pulled this earlier. This is Tim Walz essentially saying, if there's fraud in this state, you need to go to jail. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe we turn this back on you, bud.
He's also, I was talking to Andrew about it today, but I think Tim Walz is dumb, right? Like there's some people he's fucking kooky and he's whatever, but he's also kind of dumb.
Yeah.
There's something dumb about him.
This goes back to the comment you made about guys like Brad Pitt who never really get out onto the circuit and do. We never had this because Tim Walz wasn't in the spotlight. And I was always a Tim Walz guy for years.
No, this is a Robert De Niro thing.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
You think, I just watched the whole 5-part Scorsese thing. If you just watch that, you go, Robert De Niro's the fucking smartest man on the planet. Until he shows up on The View, and now we know he's a dope.
Yeah.
Right. He should have never taught. No. The two guys who should have never opened their mouths were Bruce Springsteen and Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
We had them as geniuses. They could have sailed off into retirement, and that's all we ever would have thought. Now, I think of them as dopes. Sure. But anyway, here's Tim Walz. Sorry.
Again, my message is simple on this. You commit fraud in Minnesota, you're going to prison. I don't care what color you are, what religion you are. Anybody who wants to help us in that, we welcome that. But sitting on the sidelines and throwing out accusations, and let's be very clear, demonizing an entire population and lying to people about the safety and security of this state is beneath that. And I will just add, as a teacher and as a parent, the absolutely pathetic usage of a slur Not to me. I don't care what he calls me. He calls me many things. But don't think that doesn't hurt our children. Don't think it doesn't hurt people who are dealing with
retarded.
This. And this is not normal. It's not both sidesism. We're solving problems. We're making life more affordable. We're talking about bringing people in, and we're getting this.
Yeah. Anyway, he probably knew about it because people try to blow the whistle, but it was from his constituency, and they're powerful and they need them. So they're not going to bust them because they don't want them to turn on them. And listen, this whole thing where they go, not every single Somali, not every single Somali in Somalia is anything. It's all it takes with any society is a small percentage of people. Like if you just go, look, I come in Los Angeles, way less than 10% of the citizens are pirates. It's like 7.5%, maybe 8.2 are actual pirates. Yeah. Like that's way too much. And if less than 5% of them are murderers or rapists, it's way too much. It has to be 0.000. Yeah. And so they get to do this thing where they go, most of these people are hardworking, good. Yeah, everybody, but then an alarmingly high percentage, which isn't really an alarmingly high percentage. Like you wish that was your body fat percentage. It doesn't take 50%. It takes like 7% and you're fucked. And that's what they don't. Then they go, but these people are hardworking. Yeah, they are. And then there's this group that isn't, and they do what they do.
Yeah, if you bake a cake with high-end ingredients and put 2 ounces of human shit in it, the whole cake's going to taste like shit.
Yeah, or fentanyl. But yeah. All right, what's our news story?
Well, since we're already talking about it, let's start with this. The Trump administration halted immigration applications from 19 countries deemed to be a high risk for producing terrorists and other national security threats.
Well, just the fact, if you really just think about it, in 2026, where it's just kind of accepted. Like, yeah, we have terrorist groups that sort of roam around. Like, could you imagine? Like, we're like, yeah, we got groups of terrorists, but they're mostly in Wyoming and North Carolina. Like, just the idea that it's modern times and where there's places where you go, well, there's a lot of terrorist groups there. Yeah. Yeah, good. You're on the fucking list. Sorry. And then you go, well, that's not fair to the hard right. Yeah, it's not fair. But don't have terrorists in 2026. It's kind of, it's avoidable. Sure. You don't have to have terrorists.
Yeah, there's a reason why Canada is not on this list of the 19 places.
Almost no pirates and very little terrorists. Yes.
Yeah, so, but yeah, Afghanistan, Libya, Somalia, Venezuela, Yemen, all of the usual suspects that you would think would be on this list are exactly on this list. So,
yes.
Yeah. TSA will charge a $45 fee for all passengers without real ID. The U.S. Transportation Security Administration said on Monday it will begin charging travelers $45 on February 1st if their IDs do not meet stricter federal standards aimed at encouraging travelers to get the enhanced identity documents. This honestly, I just got a new license 4 months ago. I don't understand the enhanced security IDs. I don't know what is difference about other than it's an extra $31 at the DMV. Nothing has changed. I don't know why you need this. It just feels like a money grab.
I don't know, but I travel with my passport now because I can't. LA, I hope everyone's sitting down. The DMV is so fucked up.
Yeah.
The DMV is really just I don't want to call it a metaphor, but it's kind of like when you go in and you're going to get your blood work or the doctor's going to give you a physical or something. He doesn't need all your blood. He just needs a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit of your blood, and then he'll go, oh, man, you got low levels of iron, or you're pre-this, or you need that, or you're low in vitamin D, or like whatever. You just a sample of what's coursing through your entire body in order to know everything about what's going on inside your body. The DMV will tell you how that town is working.
Yeah.
And the fact that the LA DMV is always a shit show, it's like I've tried to make appointments. It's like they don't have anything for 4 months. It's always crowded. You can't walk in. It's not usable. It's not a coincidence that DMV's in LA because LA is a shit show. LA doesn't work. Yeah. And that is just a manifestation of how it doesn't work. You could really I'm going to add. All right. So I can move to a town that has a Top Golf, a P.F. Chang's, and a Spearmint Rhino. Those are
the three. The trifecta.
Those are the three. Now, people go, you love strippers and Chinese food that much? I go, no. It shows a certain level of evolvement.
Mm-hmm.
It means we're prospering. And I do like strip clubs and Chinese food, by the way.
Sometimes together.
I think my new one I will add was I want to check out the DMV.
Sure.
Like if you go into the LA DMV, it's just a bunch of angry fucking foreign women standing behind the counter, just glaring at everybody, pissed off, and there's a huge long line, and the place is a shit show. I want to check out your DMV. I want to know about your Top Golf. I want to know about your Spearmint Rhino. I want to check out your P.F. Chang's. And if I go into that Starbucks and I can just walk into the bathroom without punching a code into the door, I'm moving tonight. Tonight.
To not have to prepay for gas? Oh, what is this, Mayberry?
Oh, yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The Egan DMV, Egan, Minnesota. That is the DMV that I go to when I'm back in Minnesota. After I sold my house and my license was about to expire, I went down there, and you have to have 2 forms of identification to change your address on your ID. You have to have your insurance, and then there's one other thing you need. I don't remember what it is. I walked in with one of them, but my insurance, it was on my phone, and I didn't have a physical copy of it. And I go, I got to get a new ID. It expires in 4 days, but I got to change the address. And she said, well, you can't because you have to have an actual physical copy of the insurance, not on your phone. And I go, oh, well, can I just keep the old address on there? And she said, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And just handed me my ID, and it's like literally gave me the paperwork, and 4 days later I had a brand new license in the mail.
Not in Glendale.
Not in Glendale. No, man, they ain't putting up with that. No. The FDA commish says that
Well, to be fair, we forced a bunch of women, like we told women, you get to work.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm going to be a high-powered lawyer in the corner office or a big-time architect. No, bitch, you're going to the DMV. See, we told women, you get to work, but what we didn't tell them is most jobs are shit.
Yeah.
And you're either going to be at the airport or at the DMV, and now they're all standing there, and they're fucking pissed because they work at the DMV, and it sucks. And I think women, they're not as good at masking their feelings when they're unhappy about their workplace.
That's one more thing the Simpsons can say that they were the first at, is putting bitchy women in the DMV with Patty and Selma.
Yeah,
they called that one a long time ago.
Yes.
Yep. FDA commish says that mRNA flu shot will not be approved because it failed in seniors. He says, quote, we're not just going to rubber stamp new products that don't work, that fail in a clinical trial. It makes a mockery of science if we're going to just rubber stamp things with no data. And that was the MO in the Biden administration with the eternal COVID booster approvals for young, healthy kids.
Good.
Yeah.
That Kennedy doing that?
This was, what is his name? Marty McCary?
McCary, yeah. All the guys, basically, all the guys that were right about COVID who got blackballed are now in charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, great, right? And the more and more, I especially like the story that you and Dawson had the other day about the FDA and about the kids, and the more and more research that comes out, I don't know how much I've talked about it on this show, but it irks me that there isn't enough done and that there isn't enough research and that nobody cares about it. But I am for certain that my friend Ricky is dead because of the COVID vaccine. He was a healthy vegan who lived off the land in Wisconsin, and his wife said, "Hey, we're getting the COVID shot."
The wife, what?
We're getting boosters, and next thing you know, one of my best friends is now dead with absolutely no explanation. And I always said, I'll leave it to chance. Maybe there was something going on with the family. Maybe there was a heart condition. I'll leave it to chance until we get the autopsy back. And if that autopsy comes back inconclusive, then damn it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blame it on that shot. And son of a bitch, if that, the autopsy doesn't come back and it says inconclusive. So to me, I'm thinking that it's got to be something in that.
Well, healthy people should have never got it, especially young people.
Absolutely.
But, it's kind of interesting, which is women used to be barefoot and in the kitchen and pregnant and didn't have the right to vote and second-class citizens and whatever. And then at some point, they caught up, and now they're the majority of college students and professionals and things like that. At some point, they got into some sort of balance. There was an interruption in the balance where they somehow became in charge of all decisions at the House, which guys should have never signed off on, which I think all guys are kind of guilty of that. But they then became basically the custodian of the House. And so when stuff would come along, such as a COVID vaccination, they're like, I'm taking the kids to get them vaccinated. And you'd go, I don't want to take the kids to get vaccinated. Well, you don't get a vote. So, and they just go do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's nothing you could do about it. And that became sort of the new world order. And the folks and the powers that be figured out that if they're going to be in charge, then they're the people we need to talk to and we need to convince. And so you started noticing, like, Rochelle Walensky of the CDC was up there, like, as a mother. And, like, I could see all the dumb chicks sitting home going, look, I'm a mother too. And she's a mother. Oh, she's a mother first. And then she's a physician second. Or and then they stopped with the kind of, like, C. Everett Koop, that guy dressed like an admiral from the French Navy from 1871. Like, that guy was up there, scholarly guy wearing an admiral outfit.
Yeah.
And that was the Surgeon General. And then we started replacing him. Like, see, Everett Koop looked like a dude.
Yeah.
He looked like a dude who was on the Kansas record album from like the from like the 70s or something. Like, whoever that guy was. I don't know, who was that guy, Dawson?
I know who you're talking about. We'll find the picture. Yeah.
All right. But you know what he was? He was the man, right? So then what they replace him with? A spindly Indian waif model. And that guy was like, oh, hey, ladies, I'm one of you. Watch how I cross my legs.
Yeah.
And Rochelle Walensky, and then the dwarf Fauci. And all of a sudden they go, hey, listen, it'd be awesome. You really need to give your kid this experimental injection that he doesn't need, but for me, okay, moms. And then moms listened to us, and then the moms went, okay. Because it wasn't Trump saying it, and it wasn't C. Everett Koop, but he looks like John Milius. What's John Milius look like? The director? Thank you. Andrew, no one knows what John really. But that was a dude. And he had epaulets, and he had war ribbons and stuff, and that was authority. And then we replaced him with an Indian waif model.
Yeah.
And all these, and then a he, she, tranny, whatever, who was Admiral Levine, and then a chick in Rochelle Walensky. And then they just got there and they started going, hey, moms, listen to us. And they went, okay, I'll go get my kid vaccinated when I don't really need to. Because if it was C. Everett Koop saying, hey, bitches, do this, they'd go, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
For sure.
What the man has to say. And by the way, Madison Avenue's figured this out too. And so what they do is they get hold of the moms and they just sell them shit. It's basically fake science. All the Purell, all the antibacterial soaps, all the wiping of everything down, all the veggie wash and all that. They got a credit card. They're at home. The TV's on. The guy's on the road. He's working. He's out of the house. And they figured it out. So it was really... the whole COVID thing was about weaponizing the women to enforce. Every argument I had was with a woman going, you need to get vaccinated. I'm like, I don't. Why do I need to get? They need to get vaccinated. You can't come back. My son didn't say shit all through COVID. My daughter's, all she did is explain to me how I had to put gloves on when I went to the supermarket, you know? So they became the enforcers. And we stupidly listened. Yeah. Because we couldn't unring the bell because we should have started 20 years ago and going, hey, shut up. You You don't get to make all the fucking decisions around this place. And by the way, I make the money, so I get a fucking vote.
Yeah.
Your plan is I make all the money and you get all the votes. I don't like that plan.
Yeah. It's too bad this wasn't happening like 20 years ago. Because as you said, if somebody told my mom, do this for your children, she'd be like, no. Good. Yeah, I'm good. There's no way I'm listening to that.
Carolla wouldn't have done it.
No.
What is the guy's name from Kansas?
Robbie Steinhardt plays the fiddle. I'm trying to find a good picture.
You're looking for the record cover, though. I mean, aren't we? No, I'm talking the band Kansas had an illustrated record cover.
Oh, yeah, we've got that.
You got that? Yeah. That's.
I thought you were actually talking.
No,
someone from Kansas? Yeah.
No, it was the actual band record cover. The guy looked like C. Everett Koop. But anyway, it's our fault for listening.
Yeah.
And then they got all the votes and they got all the control and then they just did whatever they did. I didn't get a vote whether my kids got vaccinated or not. What are we even watching? What are we even looking at?
Nothing screams dust in the wind like a guy with a shotgun in one hand, a Bible in the other.
I don't even. Beard. What is it called? What is now Andrew? That's Milius.
Oh.
That's Andrew geeking out. No, I like the Kansas record cover better.
Yeah. That's great, man. Oh,
you gotta find. If you can find Dawson Rochelle Walensky talking about summer camp, it never gets old for me.
Yeah.
But that was the mom. So they took a bunch of people and they put them forth, and they were all wafy and wimpy and pussy and female and whatever. And then they tricked all the moms into listening to them because they didn't have a reaction to them. They couldn't have a bunch of big dudes tell you to get your shit together because they wouldn't have reacted to it. And then we got a bunch of people needlessly vaccinated.
When you're talking about how we went from, Coop to spindly, wafy Indian model, the way dudes are presenting themselves nowadays, I'm really taken back by it, especially for how much traveling I do and where I see it. There was a guy the other day, pair of Crocs, pajama pants. He's like 47 years old. Standing in line at the airport. We're waiting to get onto the flight. He's standing in front of me, and it's got a blankie with him so he can take a nap on his 90-minute flight. He's got a man bun. He's got a book in his hand, which I'm all about reading, sure. But he was swinging like a child in line, just swinging his arms. And he came across and he swang a little too far, hit me right in the dick.
Really?
Like, literally just popped back of his hand, just hit me right in the dick.
Should have knocked him out like Joe Pistone.
I was like, wow. And he never like really apologized. He just kind of went, oh. And then he moved over a little bit and just kept swinging. Like, you know how an 8-year-old just swings their arms? I'm like, what is happening to people in America? Well, who are these dudes?
Their dudes ceased being dudes.
Yeah.
But dudes also figured out if they don't pose a threat, then they can get some pussy too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In fact,
there's a lot of that.
The book he was reading was called How to Look Like a Pussy at the Airport.
Well, it obviously did him well. Speaking of, since we're going down this route, the male makeover. Did you know that at least half of all men at some point in their lives will end up, it's maybe more so in America, they will end up with a set of moobs. They'll end up with male breasts. What do they call it? Gynomastia?
Yeah.
It is on the rise. It is the number one surgery of middle-aged men in America right now, and it's starting more and more at a younger age. It used to start on by about the age of 32, and now they're seeing it start in men at about the age of 18 to 19 years old.
Yeah, because they're growing up on all this shit.
Yeah.
And I've talked to guys. Got a friend who had a brother's son was going through this. Like he just ate canes. That's all he ate. Just ate. That's all he ate. Canes. You know. And then by the time he was 14, he had tits.
Yeah.
Like there. I mean, part of it is weight. Part of it is circulating estrogen. Part of it is plastics. In the environment. Like it's all killing testosterone, killing sperm counts. Like it's basically I wrote a book called 50 Years Will All Be Chicks. That book's like 15 years old now. We're heading.
Yeah.
We're on the move.
Well, even look at pro wrestlers back in like the 80s. Like you saw Axe and Smash of Demolition. And now you look at pictures of them and you go, dude, those guys had tits. They had actual tits like out in the ring. Those were boobs, you know?
I think it's weight. And it's weight mixed with a whole bunch of like soybean oil and low testosterone and just all the environmental shit that we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, there's no pushback anymore. You know, nobody is in for the last 40 years. Nobody has left 72 degrees everywhere you go. I mean, we start especially Minnesota, we start our cars from the house. We walk through a breezeway through the garage. We get in, we drive, we go to a covered, you know, like a parking structure. We walk to our office. It never changes. There's nothing that's pushing back on you in the elements anymore.
Need some adversity.
Absolutely.
All right. Can't find Rochelle Walensky. Oh, you do find Rochelle Walensky. I never know if stuff gets forgotten about or not, but if you got her, do it. This is her as a mom. You know, she's very concerned as a mom. This is a woman who's head of the CDC.
I'm still looking for it. It's pretty scrubbed. It usually used to pop up, but...
Oh, I'm sorry. I figured we had it somewhere in our computer, but that would be not labeled or something. But I do feel like I'd put this in our computer,
several times,
played it 1,000 times, but maybe it's labeled something differently. But you're saying maybe taken from the scrub from the internet. I love that people scrubbed all their bullshit from lying from COVID. Oh, that's kind of nice.
Man, I wish I could do that to most of my career. Just go back and get all those terrible jokes I posted 7 years ago.
Oh, your jokes are great. Get the hell out of here. Well, we're going to have to find it and put it on our computer so we have it, because this is a perennial all-star for me, because I can't get enough of her lying about it. And by the way, all they do is lie, and they're horrible at their job, and then at some point, they end up at Harvard.
Yeah.
And then they have they end up some board on Harvard. They just fucking all end up at Harvard.
Yeah.
Which is another good reason not to send your fucking kids to Harvard. Now, look, Rochelle Walensky may be qualified, but turns out she's a liar. And she was basically told to lie and not to ask for... You know, I was done with her. By the way, you should be done with everybody when she comes out and she said, we should reopen schools, and then someone got hold of her from the Biden administration and told her to walk it back, and then she took it back.
Sure.
So... You know, if I come to your house and give you my opinion on how to build your house correctly, and, you know, if I say to you, your door's dragging, Rudy, don't undercut the door. Don't take the door off and plane the bottom of the door. You need to fix the upper hinges, suck the hinges in. That'll pull the door back up. Do not cut that door. And then I leave, and then somebody talks to me from the door division. And then I come back and I go, hey, Rudy, about the door? I think you should undercut it.
Wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah, just undercut it. I wasn't speaking as a carpenter.
Yeah, as a carpenter,
I was speaking. I was off the clock. But anyway, now in my official capacity, you can go ahead and think I'm lying, or I've been corrupted.
Yeah, it's usually how it works.
All right. Doesn't exist, and not in our computers anywhere, even though it's been in our computers. Dawson, has this been in our computers, or we just go to the internet every time?
You know, I'm not sure. I always just kind of receive the audio through the mixer, but I was under the impression that, it does exist somewhere. We just it hasn't been sorted through. It's not
labeled.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got to do that labeling thing, which I've been talking about for 11 years. We never get to it. All right, Rochelle Walensky talking about her kid going to summer camp has been scrubbed from the internet. I will accept that.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Because she would just look like a lying piece of shit on the internet for the rest of eternity. But now she's off at Harvard spending money and lying to a new generation of fucking kids.
All of the stuff that you want to find, they get rid of. But all the stuff that they're throwing down our throats right now, like so much. I know you don't spend a lot of time on social media, but the amount of AI fake videos that are coming your way, and they pump them out First thing, when you open up that app, boom, right away. Something completely fake. And people are passing this stuff off like it's real. Like, did you see that this inmate who was on trial jumped up onto the judge's bench and then he got up through the air conditioning vent and then out the door, and you're like, and then you watch it and you go, well, this is clearly fake. Why are you guys pumping this out like this is wouldn't have this made the news?
Yeah. I will. It looks pretty good now, though, right?
It looks almost, In fact, South Park, speaking of, they just did an episode about this where it's almost like people are making AI revenge porn videos and pitting each other again and putting them out, and people can't tell the difference anymore. It's insane.
Well, you can clear the screen, by the way, from stuff that's old. I will give a plug to you, Ruda. A good plug to me. Tomorrow night, Santa Barbara, California. My daughter and her friends are coming out to that one, so maybe I'll clean it up a little. At the Santa Barbara Comedy Club.
I'm not going to do the Barbie in the microwave joke in front of her friends.
May. She'll probably like that. Saturday, I'm going to be in Corona, Dos Lagos Amphitheater with Jay Moore, super funny guy, and then off to Florida. Couple shows in Miami on the 12th and the 13th at the Miami Improv. You can go to adamcarolla.com for all that. Rudy, where are your shows coming up?
I will be at Delirious Comedy Club, Silver Sevens in Las Vegas starting tonight all the way through Sunday. Mike Dawson will be joining me on all those shows. Can't wait. Yeah, good times. Absolutely. And then the weekend after, Huntsville, Alabama, Levity Live with Jonathan Kite. You can catch me there. I believe it's the 10th through the 12th, maybe. I can't remember the dates. But
so, till next time, I'm Carolla for Rudy Pavich and Billy Gardell saying mahalo.